In 3, 2. Well, I mean, it says it's working this time, but whether it actually is, I don't know because I have to reload the stream.
Careful,
that might be copyrighted.
It says we're live. There's just no thumbnail. That's all right. I can upload the thumbnail later.
Yep.
It says excellent connection this time.
Sure.
It says excellent connection. Whether or not it actually is excellent, everyone, you'll have to let me know. I have some things I need to deal with now because I can't. We're okay. So the big thing I want to know, guys, obviously we're live. Is everything good? We'll get the thumbnail replaced and
Hey, look, now I can like this
and
one
all
again.
of that. Yeah, the Doug theme.
No.
Yeah. Love Doug.
I had to touch it.
Fail. You ruined your mic. Okay. Fail. One thing I noticed is if you loosen it all the way back up and then retighten it, it's fine.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go into settings here. I'm just grabbing the old thumbnail, guys, and then we'll be good. Edit title and description. We're just gonna get the thumbnail re-uploaded here. Oh, they also didn't copy that in. Well, that's lame. That's all right.
What, the description?
Thumbnail.
Pretty
Download.
How about that?
Download thumbnail.
Need some oil.
Why are
for
you not
my-
downloading? Hey, computer.
Oh, this is fun.
What? My laptop is so slow right now. Okay, did you download it? All right, we're gonna reboot this laptop. This laptop needs a. Have you tried turning it on and off again? That's probably what the Windows update.
Oh, this is
all right.
fun.
Are we actually live though? We can get
Yeah.
going while I
We're
wait for
live.
this to reload.
Yeah, we're live.
Chat.
Pin comment?
Yes, I can't do it yet.
No. You know,
Wait. Is Sparks the Hole coming up tonight?
Yes.
Cool. I get to play it all night, so I can do my first impressions because I'm
Yes.
still waiting on my.
We will
recode.
talk in a moment. Everyone, we're live, right? We're
Yes.
good. I want to know: is audio good and are we laggy? That's all I care about right now.
Are we laggy?
If we're good, then we'll just get going.
My leg is kind of laggy.
My
guess
laptop
seems
could
good.
take a while to reboot because it's probably going to do Windows Update right now.
looks like all good.
All right. Well, hey everyone, welcome to the Nintendo Prime Podcast episode 72.
I have an idea. How about we start like this? You say, "Hey everyone, welcome to the," and then Eric.
Oh, here we go. You're complicating this now.
Eric, Nate, and I say Nintendo Prime Podcast at the same time.
You know what's going to happen, Mike? You know what's going to happen, Mike? One, it's going to fail horribly.
Oh, gosh.
And the next thing you're going to be like, okay, now that we did that, let's make it a round. So, Nate, you start welcome. We'll come in on 2. And then you come back around as we're finishing 72 with another welcome.
Yeah.
Round and round we go. Where this podcast stops, nobody knows. All right, guys. Welcome to the podcast, episode 72. We have some interesting topics to talk about today. 2 big ones. One of them we'll probably get into super quick because it has to do with what have we been playing lately. At least for me, it has to do with it. It's about to have to do with Mike and Eric, hopefully. Get into that a little bit too. So I am your host, as always, Nathaniel Jantz. Across the table over here is my best friend and co-host, Mr. Eric Moore.
What's up?
And then behind us right here on this giant mug, the sexiest man in Florida, Mr. Mike Odyssey. How we doing?
Blurpity blurp.
Yeah, we're doing blurpity blurp. Okay, cool.
That's good in my book.
Why not?
That's excellent in my book, if I'm completely honest. All right. So what I want to do then is have a conversation with all of you guys on what have we been playing lately. The same way we start every single podcast. I'm not going to start it because the thing that I've been playing lately, I know you guys haven't been playing lately. And it's a good segue into segue into our first topic.
Cool.
So I will go last. So I'm going to throw it to Eric and just pray he played something this week.
Come on, Eric, you do it.
Besides your mobile
South
phone
Park.
games.
South Park. Yeah. No, but
No.
sadly, no, I did not play anything this week. I will hopefully be playing something. Hopefully.
Soon. We'll get into a moment.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Yep.
Hopefully. You know what's funny? They categorized our live stream as entertainment, not gaming.
Cool.
I guess gaming entertainment's not a category.
Because reasons.
But it is what it is. I'm just fixing some behind the scenes stuff, guys. So all right, so Eric, a big fat nothing. How about you, Mike?
So I've been playing stuff. I actually been like I work. I got a 9 to 5 job. Well, actually nine to almost 8 job, 10 hours. But on my lunchtime, I've been like, just sitting on my couch and playing games. I'm in this I'm in this mission to complete every single Mario game ever made because I'm in my last game right now. So I've played every single Mario game
Ever made.
except for the one that I'm playing right now, which is, you guys are gonna be surprised. It takes place in Delfino Island.
How's that a surprise? That's one of the main games.
Yeah, I skipped it completely skipped it.
Completely skipped
So yeah, I'm because I got the All Stars thingy, so I'm playing it from there, which is pretty cool. I'm having a lot of fun. Play that. I went back. Oh, I played Punch Out for a little bit. I made it to Mike Tyson. Was Mike Tyson beat me up?
Mike Tyson.
I got rage quit a little bit there.
Yeah, that happens.
I finally got in the mail my copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: A Cowabunga Collection.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Physical copy.
Turtles.
What else happened this week? Oh yeah, they canceled my Sparks of Hope. We ordered it at the same time. Nate, I, and Eric. We ordered the Sparks of Hope Gold Edition, which came with that plate, the metal
Yep.
plate thingy.
Sure.
And then GameStop at the last minute they canceled it because I ordered 2 copies and I'm not supposed to order 2 copies. I ordered 2 copies.
Yeah. How dare you?
One of the copies was a promise to I'm not sure if there's anybody in the chat who remembers that, but last year during our One Up Foundation event, we selected a winner, like the One Up Award, and then we gave them 2 games, and we donated $200 to the charity of their choice. So we did that last year, and then one of the games they chose was Sparks of Hope, and this was last year. I reminded I bought a second copy for him. Thank God that one wasn't canceled. That one he received I think tomorrow. He receives tomorrow. For the gold edition one. But then my copy got canceled, so I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I'll just get the thing. But recently, just now, right before the podcast started, I was on Mercari. By the way, Mercari is a good place to buy stuff, guys. And I see this guy selling the gold edition of the Mario Plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope for $50. $50.
Hell yeah!
And everything.
That's a good deal.
For $50,
Maybe.
you know. And not only that, I sent him an offer for $40, and he accepted it.
Yeah. Is it a pickup in person?
No, it's a mail. He's gonna mail it.
We'll see what happens.
But I'm gonna get the digital version though. I'm still getting it tonight when it comes out because I want to play it. But man, I mean
somebody else.
The guy has 249 reviews. Hopefully, it's not himself 249 times.
Right.
But
Right.
I mean, good. I have no
Right.
idea. That's hilarious.
kind of suspicious because he has the same listing again like 3 times. Maybe he just went to a store. and
No,
stole
that's
a bunch of
not
copies.
suspicious.
He could have stolen a whole
on.
bunch of copies and sold.
He got
it, and
he got it off the
I'm
back
not
of the truck.
responsible.
He's
responsible.
driving one of the trucks.
He
No,
is,
that's
he is,
where my freaking copy went.
he is the truck. He is the truck.
Yeah, he sold a couple of them here. I see like 4 of them.
I'm sure
of
you
the
do.
same- Yeah, I'm probably not getting that, but you know, I can just
it's probably not happening, guys. It's probably not happening.
yeah. I could care less about the actual game though. I wanted to get that metal bucket thing.
Sure.
What was it?
Buckets are us. Oh, wait, that's not right.
Tin can kind of little poster, little collectible thing from GameStop. Man. GameStop, if you're listening, sponsor this. You can sponsor Nintendo Prime.
GameStop, are you listening? You need to sponsor the Nintendo
jeez.
Prime podcast. All right, are we good? Is it my turn now? Are we
The
good?
Steelbook.
Yeah.
Are we golden? I'm so
Steelbook
excited
retail.
for what I
You're
get.
looking for Steelbook, Mike.
Oh, the Steelbook. See, you should have.
Yeah.
You see, we just don't even know. We can't even stay
No,
organized
no.
around here.
God, no.
Metal buckets and stuff here.
We can't even launch a live stream that doesn't lag.
Right?
Like this is the professionalism you can expect here at Nintendo Prime. All right. Getting more serious about things. Hi. I have played some awesome stuff this week, but
Hold
before
on. Are you trying to say that what Eric and I said wasn't serious?
No, not with what he's played.
we talked about you getting scammed.
We talked about getting scammed.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. In talking about what you've been playing lately, we're talking about something you haven't played yet, and you're getting scammed over.
Please
so.
tell me you use PayPal or Venmo.
I probably got scammed. Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Hey, he's got a lot of top tier reviews. You never know. Maybe you somehow are getting the special version of it for cheaper than everybody else who bought it legit.
Yep.
Bootleg. Maybe it's a bootleg. They just
probably is.
It's a bootleg. They just flashcard it or something.
Yeah,
that'd be hilarious. Yeah. All right. So before I tell you guys what I've been playing lately, because if you guys have been paying attention to my channel, you are well aware of what I've been playing lately. I want to shout out a sponsor. Thank you so much to Herman Miller for sponsoring the episode of the Nintendo Prime podcast. So today we're talking about their new Phantom gaming chairs, which Eric and I are both rocking right now. Eric can give it a little spin around, show you what this looks like from the front and the back. Show that back. Show that white accent that we got rocking. Oh,
show us that back. Come on, Eric.
Show that back. Baby got back. All right. So the latest innovation in gaming design from Herman Miller and Logitech G. That's right. I even got my Logitech mouse out for this one because you know what? They're working together. Phantom is their first ever performance chair made specifically for gamers, driven by extensive research, design, expertise, and a unique understanding of gaming performance. They've developed a seat that provides superior ergonomic support and adjustability so every player can do what they love for longer: perform, play, browse, and sit back with the design and versatility gamers need to reach their peak. Also, it's great for taking a nap.
Really? I like taking naps.
Our first ever performance chair, their first ever performance chair, is made specifically for gamers. Phantom is the next step in Herman Miller's design collaboration with Logitech G. You can engage your optimal playing posture from the moment you sit down with Phantom's active forward-leaning alignment. Achieve total support through your head, neck, and shoulders with an adjustable headrest and thoracic. How do you say that? Thoracic?
Thoracic, yeah.
Thoracic? All right. I'd ask the multiple degree college veteran over there. Thoracic support pad that's ready for you when it's time to press pause. Exclusive suspension and material provides lasting, breathable comfort during marathon gaming sessions. Choose from 3 distinct colorways. We have the white ones. I think there's a red, and I forget what the other one is off the top of my head. Maybe black or something, and match your gaming setup and style. Folks, I want to give a big shout out to Herman Miller. If you are interested in grabbing your Phantom gaming chair, you can do so in the link in the pinned comment or in the description. It will run you about $995. They do have financing options as well to get your payments super low per month to under $100 a month. Get it paid off in less than a year. Get your Christmas presents ready for people who want a super comfortable chair. Thank you so much to Herman Miller.
It's $900, but guess what? Your butt, your back, and your neck will thank you.
They are very, very, very nice.
Yes. All right. That being said, I want to tell you what I've been playing lately, guys, and you guys probably are aware because I dropped a review.
Oh, dig.
We gotta say anything.
We're just moving on. Yeah. I dropped a review of this game.
Well, maybe you should pick it back up.
Sparks of hope. Unlike these guys here, I was fortunate enough to get a review copy of Sparks of Hope.
I played one little piece of it.
Yeah, you played a side quest. You kicked some fish.
I saw one little piece of it.
Anyways, I dropped a review on Tuesday. A lot of you guys probably didn't see that because it didn't really do that well. Plus, we had all that Bayonetta news happening kind of around it. So kind of stole a little wind out of the sail of the news cycle this week. I'm sure Ubisoft isn't very happy that this is when that news dropped, when Bayonetta is supposed to be next week. The drama could have happened next week, but it's this week. So what are you going to do? But yes, I've been playing Sparks of Hope. I completely beat the game, played it on all 3 difficulty settings to get a good idea of how it all works. And my lord, is it awesome. Reviews, obviously, I don't do scores on my reviews. I just give my impressions. What's interesting is the review scores are in, of course, and it has scored the exact same Metacritic rating as the original.
Huh.
Nice.
Which basically tells you it's not any worse. It's not any better. They maintain the consistent excellence.
Which is
hilarious.
So
pretty damn good for me.
You know, they were trying to be better, of course. They were super ambitious, and some things are factually better in this game. Some things I think are a little bit better in the old one, but overall, it kind of all combines to just be an excellent, fun experience, guys. I have loved the hell out of the game. We did a Q&A for it, so I've already answered a bunch of questions about it and showed you guys some extra exclusive gameplay. I don't want to go... It's really hard to talk about it because I don't want to get too many spoilers. Even my review didn't really have that many spoilers in it because a lot of the stuff I want to talk about is story-related, and I can't.
Yeah,
that's spoiler, and a lot of you guys are going to start playing the game tonight. So I just want to say that that's what I've been playing lately, which is awesome. That's like the only thing. It's been consumed my life. That review took me over 60 hours. It has consumed my life. And Eric is very upset that this game consumed my life. Why is this, Eric?
Because freaking FedEx is behind on my freaking delivery. So looking at it, it is sitting in freaking Kentucky. And the last update on the freaking thing was at 5:45 this morning.
The guy he stopped by to get some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, to my knowledge, it's still sitting in freaking Kentucky.
He's still eating Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Good old Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It's supposed to be here on the 21st, apparently. But if it's still sitting in Kentucky right now, I guarantee you it's not going to be here on Thursday even.
What? They don't think they're going to
whatever the
shove it
hell
on an
day it is.
airplane? You don't think they're going to airmail it?
Yes.
They won't.
I know they won't.
They'll ground it.
I know they will.
You'll get it maybe Monday before you go. If
You
you're
might
lucky.
get it tomorrow.
Yeah, I doubt that.
I've been surprised that way. I've been like following things that I feel like, wait, there's too far away. How is it that gonna get here today? It got
Well,
here
around here, everything goes through the Minneapolis
It has to go
warehouses.
past us. to then turn around to come back to us.
It's weird. It goes past us to Minneapolis and then comes back.
Yep.
So if it's not already at Minneapolis, it won't be here tomorrow.
No.
But they said the 21st. So you just
Yes.
got to see if it hits Minneapolis tomorrow. Then you might actually get it
Right.
on Saturday. But he's all worried because obviously, well, you know what? I'm going to announce some of the sad news right now. It is entirely possible we might not see Eric on this podcast for the next 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's very well possible.
Eric definitely won't be here next week. And then 1 week in November specifically, he won't be here. However, it sounds like he's probably going to be gone for a while. So first off, everyone get your farewells into Eric and wish him well on his work journey coming up. Lots of traveling, lots of stuff happening.
North Dakota next week, South Dakota the week after, Oshkosh and Cedar Rapids possibly the week after that. And then Montana possibly the week after that. Then it's deer hunting, which I'll probably be here for that anyways. If I'm not out of the office at work. And then possibly another on site sometime within December. So, yeah, it's very well possible that I will not be here for the next
5, 6, 7
full
weeks.
month.
Yeah, it
month
can be.
and a half.
It can be a while.
Let me ask this: it's a positive trip, right? It's
No.
it's a good thing that it's
I
happening,
mean,
right?
it's work, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's work.
It's work, which, isn't always fun, but can be cool to travel sometimes. But also, guys, it also means that he can't do one of his favorite things every week, which is this podcast and come hang out with me.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. It doesn't mean we're not gonna be talking to each other, of course.
Oh, yeah.
That's not. It's more so you guys that'll probably end up missing him more than me, just because I'll still be in contact with him, and you guys. I mean, maybe he'll pop on during a podcast episode and talk in the chat if he wants. But, but yeah, Eric, there's a lot of stuff. I've even considered sending him with some on the go equipment to try to make it work. But honestly, he's working. I don't really want him worrying about it.
Technically, my work laptop has a camera, but
I'd rather not push things too much when he's on his work trips. So I just wanted to let everyone know that yes, Eric potentially will be gone for quite some time. That does mean there'll be some changes to the podcast. I'm going to try to have 2 guests on every week, so we're still keep our 3, but it's not going to be me and then a TV. Or like me and a TV with 2 people, and then Mr. Pumpkin and the other charity. Although it is the season, it's going to have to change to a more traditional layout for a podcast, which just makes me puke. But you know what? Sometimes the practical
so
set,
you're saying
the
the other
practical
wall
set doesn't make sense when I'm the only person in person and everyone else is on digital. I need to change it up to a more traditional layout, which is totally fine, and it's not difficult, and I have some layouts I think already, but if I don't, whatever, I can talk to Mike. We'll figure something out for it next week, and we'll get it taken care of. It's just a situation that I'm going to miss having Eric here, especially for the kind of topics we have today, because these are the kind of topics I exactly want Eric here for, and who the hell knows what's going to happen over the next couple of months. So It's a wild ride, everyone, but this is what happens. It's this time of year. It's really busy at his work. He's got to go do his thing. And it's really busy for me as well, like extremely busy. And from the sounds of it, it
really
might be getting even busier because of things that I wasn't planning for. So it's wild. Now, that being said, we can get into our first topic. And I don't know that we're going to be on this topic too long, but Sparks of Hope comes out this week. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride. I know I've been really looking forward to it. Of course, I've already beaten it. So the excitement for me isn't my excitement is the excitement of you guys playing it and the excitement of all of the people in the audience playing it. Not so much the excitement of anything else involving it because I've already done it. I already know everything. I'm literally like this close from 100%ing it right now. So there isn't any thing for me to necessarily. Plus, the one thing is like when you get review copies, it seeps a little bit of the excitement of the launch out because I've done.
Yeah,
I'm already done.
Yeah.
But everyone else gets to go have fun, and it's going to be cool watching people talk about it on social media in our Discord chat. And obviously, I'm hoping that next week we can have maybe a little bit more in-depth conversation about it when Mike has played it, and hopefully one of our guests has played it as well. Because right now, it's sort of a one-sided like I could tell you guys lots of things about this game, but then you guys haven't played it yet. So I just kind of wanted to remind you guys it's coming out. If you haven't thought about getting it, and it is very, very, very good. And I want to give Eric and Mike each one question to ask me. Ask me anything you want about the game. I don't care what it is. It can be the stupidest question ever.
Yeah.
Any question, and I will answer it truthfully and honestly. Unless you add, nope. I'm going to stick to it. I said any question.
No.
Any question.
Which means I'm
Nothing's
staying away
off
from that
limits.
question.
I could say anything.
Because I know I'm staying away from that question.
Yep. Anything you possibly could ever dream of.
Fine.
Okay. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, Mike.
Go ahead.
Mike, what's your question?
Does the game make you want to grab a snack?
No.
I mean,
No snack.
no
I
snack.
ate absolutely nothing while playing it.
That means
I never
it's-
even felt tempted.
Okay, so that means that the game is so good you don't even want to leave your chair. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's a good question. Eric.
So the sparks.
Yes. They are
No,
sparks.
Right.
They are sparky.
Is
They're
it spoilery?
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
You've already really told most of the things about the sparks in the trailers. So anyways,
Well, I haven't watched any trailer.
well,
there's
then,
one thing
well, then you
there's
are-
one thing they didn't say, but I doubt he's going to ask that because he doesn't even know to ask that.
No.
Go ahead.
So, with the addition of sparks to like the battle sequence and everything like that, was that a positive or a negative for battling versus the first game?
Good question. The first game didn't have sparks; just had your normal attacks. I would say it's a positive, but that's because
Yay.
they have tuned the difficulty to be harder, requiring it. There's a lot of different sparks. I'm not going to go through all the sparks, obviously, because that could be some spoiler territory. I mean, I know some of them have been revealed in the trailers, but there's a lot of different sparks in the game, and they all have these really crazy abilities. Again, not going to go over all of them, but they end up being pretty important. And your combination of them with your characters end up being pretty important because it adds all elemental effects and all this other stuff that ends up being. You basically there's battles, especially if you're on the most difficult difficulty. You're not beating it if you don't have sparks equipped. It's just not going to happen. You're going to lose. It's very, very important, especially when you consider they've added, when we're talking about the combat, there's a lot of, because they've added elements and stuff in, like fire's weak to this is weak to that, this is weak to that. And if you're not paying attention, you don't have the proper sparks equipped. Maybe you want sparks that help with health regen. Maybe you want sparks to help with defense. There's a lot of different combinations in there. There's even, and they showed this in the very first trailer. They showed this. There's AOE sparks, like they showed the meteor attack with all the fireballs in one of the trailers. So they have AoE ones as well, and sometimes that's exactly what you need in a certain given situation. And there's even some new abilities that the characters have as well. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but there's some new abilities that are really, really awesome. What I am shocked is that no one asked about Bowser. Thought for sure there'd be a Bowser question.
We'll find out in the game.
Was it voiced by Jack Black? No.
Is Mario voiced by Chris Pratt?
I think Bowser might be the only character that doesn't actually have a spoken vote.
Huh. Oh.
Hey, hold on. So that means that Kenny James is not part of the game. Let me go check this.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. There might be grunts. But I don't think there's a spoken line. But I could be wrong. He definitely doesn't talk enough for me to remember.
Okay.
I mentioned in my review there's voice acting in the game, and it quite a bit more than you guys might expect.
Wait, so there's voice acting in the game. That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. It's not fully voiced. Besides Beepo and Genie, they're two robots.
And Peach.
Peach says some stuff. Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. The Mario characters themselves don't actually talk that much. Like they have lines, but they don't actually like talk. The voice stuff. But the Rabbids, who have never had any lines or any voices, suddenly a voice.
I've heard enough.
It's okay. I don't know. It's I guess like they had it in one of the trailers. You didn't realize that what you heard in the trailer for the one Rabbid, like that's just the standard for the game. You know.
Listen, on Saturday, this is the kind of person I am. On Saturday, I'm gonna go watch Black Adam. Okay, Black Adam. I have avoided every single trailer there is.
I saw two trailers.
All I know
I
is
saw
that
two trailers, and I'm good.
It's gonna be a really. It has good reviews. People are going nuts with the movie, but I'm gonna watch this Saturday without any trailers. I like to watch movies without trailers.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to it this weekend too.
I get the full experience of a movie, so I'm that excited. You guys got me that hype for Sparks of Hope. So, yeah, so I'm there right now. So
I'm really into strategy games, and you know I'm used to the grids, but honestly, I really like this game a lot. It's just it's everything I really could want. I think the only thing that is a little feel like they almost hype the game to the point that you might go in expecting this to be significantly more ambitious than the first game. And that's not really the impression I got. However, I've also been playing it for over a week and had to slam through it for a review, which is not a normal way to play games. So, I don't know. They did some cool things.
Yeah.
They did some really cool things. Like, there's dungeons in the game. So, dungeons are awesome. And they're Zelda-like dungeons, and they're sweet. So, like, that's not even in the other game. The other game was just going from battle to battle to battle. And, like, there's other stuff to do in this game. So, I don't know. I try to put in there this caveat that the way I play this game is not the way you normally play games, and so it affects how you think and approach it. And I don't think, you know, I've listened to a lot of reviews out there and read a lot of reviews because obviously I reviewed the game and I'm just curious what other reviewers thought. And it's interesting, as I'm someone who usually doesn't read or watch reviews for video games, how few of them, one, never told you what difficulty setting they played at, which that matters greatly. And then how many also don't explain that how they played the game for the review is not really how most people are going to play the game. It's funny how he took off the headset because like none of this is spoilers at all. Right. This is just talking about the experience of reviewing games.
Yeah, not right now. Yeah,
but what are you going to do? And I want to thank Logan as well. He did a $2 super chat in there. So I had to say once more thanks for the game. Yeah, no problem, buddy. Remember, just message me tomorrow. I'll get you your code. All right.
Mike, you're good. Mike, you're good. Mike, you're good.
There was never anything you
Mike, you're good. Mike, you're good.
It's
Let's
okay.
see if he's paying attention here.
He can keep dusting away.
Right.
So I think this is clearly a signal. It's time to move on to our next topic. Obviously, guys, we're going to be talking about the Bayonetta 3 situation. As soon as Mike can say, hey,
there we go.
So Sparks of Hope, the final boss, and Hold on. So
Yeah.
the story. Let me. Anyways. No, we're gonna get into our next topic. No, we're all good. It's funny. The whole time your headset was up, I was just talking about the experience of reviewing games. I didn't even say anything about Sparks of Hope. It was hilarious.
That's still spoilers to me.
How is that spoiler saying that I don't think reviewers give enough information?
I haven't seen a review yet, just because I don't want to spoil anything. So,
but I didn't even talk about the game. I said
I'll play the game and then I'll watch your review, and then I'll leave my review of your review.
I'll leave my review of your review.
Yeah, he's gonna do a review of my review, and it's gonna be one of his weekend videos. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyways,
sponsored by.
Thanks, Brian C, for his Rabbit Mike in the game. You know what? Yeah. There is a character that reminds me of Rabbit Mike. So yes. Yeah. I'm just gonna say yes. All right.
I'm not supposed to talk about it, but I'm under NDA. So
that's what's happening. All right, let's get into some more stuff. We have another topic to talk about, and this has been the topic that's been sweeping the Nintendo universe. And honestly, it's gone beyond because of what the attempt was to do, what the ultimate end result actually was, and people being upset everywhere about this because it kind of became something that I don't know. Let's just get into the details. We're talking about the Bayonetta 3 controversy that's happened this last week. There was a boycott. Now maybe the boycott's over. And it came down to Helena Taylor, who is the original voice of Bayonetta and Bayonetta 1, 2, and the animated series. Over the weekend, put up a series of 3 tweets with videos in them that had over 9.5 million views. And in there, got pretty emotional, talking about how obviously she's not reprising her role, and tried to give some of the details of the contract, saying that the whole reason she's not reprising her role is they wouldn't pay her a living salary, as she stated, and that the very first offer was an insult. The final offer was $4,000 for the entire game. And then she did some other things as well. I'm just kind of paraphrasing here, not get into the exact words, because she got really weird, mentioning things that have nothing to do, like talking about how nurses are going to going to food pantries to feed their families or something like that, and how I almost was in a position where I didn't know how I was gonna eat, and I'm like, what does this have to do with your negotiation over Bayonetta 3 when you don't do any voice acting besides Bayonetta? I'm so how have you been eating the last eight years? I'm really confused.
Exactly.
Like, it's clearly not your job, it's not your career, so I was really confused. And if you were that desperate, then wouldn't $4,000 be a nice influx when you don't know how you're going to eat? I don't know. I didn't really understand the comparison. She was just getting really emotional. And then she said things like, hey, let's boycott the game. If you don't boycott the game, then you don't believe in helping people or whatever, which is really weird because boycotting also hurts people. So it's not really a black and white. You boycott to help or boycott to hurt. It was weird anyways. This is before we had any context on the situation because she didn't really provide any context. And then she also said things like, hey, Jennifer Hale, the new voice, hey, I love Jennifer. She's cool. But also, she cannot sign as Bayonetta at events. She does not own that voice. That is my voice. I'm Bayonetta.
What?
And it was really weird. Mm-hmm. And of course, I put Jennifer Hale in a really weird situation because on one hand, Jennifer Hale has actually been somebody who's been advocating and fighting for better pay for other voice actors. Not her specifically, because she's actually in the upper echelon. The ones below her, the up-and-comers, the ones that are struggling to get a meal, struggling to just get jobs, or if they join the union, get screwed out of jobs by Crunchyroll and all this other stuff. Like, she's there to try to help that, and she actually helped fought for the union rates to actually come up to what they are today.
And I've actually heard of Jennifer Hale, Jen Hale, and then the other one. Literally, this is the first time I hear about her. But Jen Hale, I've heard of her before. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know their agent because I was, but the other person I've never heard of before. So, what the heck?
Yeah, and Jennifer Hale's huge. I mean, she's been in a dozen projects over the last year. Oh, yeah, sure. She was recently in Overwatch 2, Mass Effect series. A whole bunch of stuff. You guys can go check out her IMDb. It's insane. It's almost as jam-packed as Charles Martinet.
Amazing.
Like, dude, she's in everything. She's so highly sought after. She is not getting the union minimum rates. She's got lines around the block. There are people knocking at her door daily. She probably got an agent. She's one of the best. Okay. You can listen to, if you ever listen to you probably heard her in some stuff and didn't even realize it. And when you compare her voices from different characters she's done, they don't even sound like, you wouldn't even think it's the same. That's how talented she is. She's so good at creating all these different voices. Big shout out to Jennifer Hale for the work she's done. And she thought it was even weird. Like, what? Like, I wouldn't have took this job if it was, she kind of, hey, it's like she's under NDA. So she has to be very careful. But she put out a response basically disagreeing with the boycott, saying, hey, remember, there's hundreds of hardworking people that worked on this game that we need to consider. I hope that you guys play and enjoy the game, and I hope that things are, taken care of behind the scenes amicably between all parties. And then she's gone ahead and retweeted things like, hey, I can't tell you what I make because of NDA, but clearly she wouldn't have took the job if she wasn't being paid well, because she has other options. She doesn't need to take a low-paying job ever. For the rest of her career, she's only going to take the best offers or the character she's most passionate about. Maybe she'll take a little less to reprise a role if she really loves that role, but that little less ain't going to be worse than what she was being paid before for that role. So she's really one of the best and set up probably for life at this point for how long she's been doing voice acting and the number of gigs to her name. But what's interesting is as things were discovered, such as the fact that Helena Taylor talking about a living wage when she hasn't been living off voice acting anyways. And that even her original claim, because in the past she said it took like 16 hours to do Bayonetta 2, and people were like, well, if you were paid $4,000 for that, that's like $250+ an hour. That's a living wage everywhere that in this world. There's not a single place on this planet that it's not a living wage. And so that was already rubbing people a little wrong. But then again, you're like, yeah, but still other voice actors retweeted her and said, oh, if this is true, $4,000 for an entire gig, multiple sessions and all that, that is a little bit low, especially for reprising a role. So you kind of give the benefit of the doubt, like, look, set aside the emotional boycott, I am Bayonetta, all this stuff. And I could understand why maybe she felt like because it's the only voice acting role she had. So she felt a deep connection to the character and kind of felt like she sort of had ownership over it. And that probably came into play in the contract negotiations where she wanted probably more than, or she thought her value, she probably thought she was irreplaceable and just had a lot of power in the negotiation stages. But there's only so much they're going to be willing to pay you before they decide, hey, you know what, your value is not comparable to what your ask is, which is probably what happened. And that was kind of the assumption for the most part, but it did seem kind of low. $4,000 for an entire game did seem a little bit low. So what's interesting is she mentioned a few other things, such as $450 million in revenue the game has made, or the franchise has made just in game sales, which is impossible to prove because we don't have the exact numbers. But Bayonetta has struggled to crack 1 million sales in the past. So it feels really weird you would have to sell 7.5 million copies of 1 and 2 to even come close to that at $60 a pop. So it already felt like it was pretty unrealistic. And she made it kind of sound like they're like rich and we need to stand up to the corporate overlords. So I did a little bit of extra research on Platinum Games today. Because yes, Nintendo is involved. Nintendo is a very, very rich company. But she didn't really call out Nintendo. She only called out Platinum and Kamiya, acting like they're a bunch of corporate heads. And what's interesting is Platinum Games only has about $10 million in capital. Yeah. They are not a $1 billion company.
Yeah, that's nothing.
That's nothing. There's a reason that Platinum Games recently mentioned that they're willing to be bought. They're not doing well. They're not sitting there. They can't self-publish games. They tried self-publishing a game. The only game they've ever tried self-publishing bombed bad. And it really hurt the money they had. They lost so much money on that game. So they are not in a position where Platinum Games is just rolling in the dough. So you could talk about $450 million in revenue. They have $10 million in capital. Revenue is not profits. So even if that number was true, that doesn't mean they actually made any money. And those games were paid for by Sega and then paid for by Nintendo, who are going to take a huge chunk of the profits because they paid for the game. So Platinum's cut isn't even going to be that big. So it's a little strange calling out Platinum Games like they're some big mega corporation when they're just kind of scraping to get by.
I mean, their overall worth was what we figured out was between $6 and $20 million.
Yeah, something like that. They're really not. Yeah,
million, not billion. Yeah, million.
Like, we'll get into someone who I was trying to make counter arguments to me earlier today and acted like their CEO gets paid, $5+ million, which would be insane because it would bankrupt the company. So there's no way in hell Platinum CEO is getting paid $5 million a year. That's insane. That's more than Shintaro Furukawa, by the way, who gets paid $2.4 million to run all of Nintendo, and he's only making about $4,300 a week if you break down his salary. Now that doesn't include obviously stock options or anything else he might get, of course, but Nintendo doesn't do the big bonuses like Activision does. So
not to mention free games.
Yeah, free games, I suppose. So it just felt a little off the way she approached it. And a lot of voice actors that have stood up for better pay, and Mike would be very acute to this because he knows a number of voice actors, they don't ask people to boycott. Boycotting affects others and hurts other people that worked on the project, and also bites the hand that feeds you. It creates less job opportunities by boycotting and being like, oh, if someone replaced me, well, screw them. That's just not how you approach trying to get better wages. And Platinum is clearly not a place that cares about hiring union workers. So you could argue that you should increase the union rates, and that's what you should be maybe working towards if you actually care. The problem for Helena Taylor, of course, is that she hasn't been doing voiceover work. So because she hasn't been doing voiceover work, she's really not involved in the industry that much. So she probably doesn't even know what the going rates are. She only knows what she got paid for Bayonetta 1, 2, and the animated series, and which, by the way, was over 8 years ago. So this is just adding a little bit of context there. But again, she could be true. She could be 4,000, and other voice actors said that wouldn't be good pay. Jennifer Hale suggested she wasn't getting paid that, but she can't tell you what it is.
That actually is a really good thought. Maybe she misspoke, and it's 450 million yen, which comes down to about $3 million US dollars.
That's okay, sure. That's
that's a little believable. That's $3 million for Bayonetta.
Yeah, but
without merch, maybe
that's even off though, because just Bayonetta 2 alone, take 1.5 times 60, that's going to be more than $3 million. Because if you just times it by $2, it's $3 million.
Yeah.
Unless they mean $3 million in profits, maybe. I mean, that's possible. Maybe they have.
It was just I just saw it in chat and I just did a quick conversion.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Because the only currency she mentioned was USD. She mentioned $4,000 US for her pay. So then, as time went on, and obviously there's a lot of back and forth with the fans debating if this is good, is it bad, blah blah blah. It got to Jason Schreier. Now, Jason Schreier has a long history of going after corporations. He uncovers a lot of nasty things and has written entire books, especially about crunch and about the mistreatment of employees. He's even talked about the mistreatment of voice actors in the past. He's always been pretty anti-corporation because corporations do a lot of greedy, shady things and sometimes hurt their employees because of it, mental health and their wallets. So he naturally, with this story, hey, let me dig into this. Maybe this might be another just, hey, I get to do a hit piece on Nintendo, hit piece on Platinum. Maybe there's some really shady stuff happening here. Let's dig into this. And so he went ahead and contacted his sources and got his hands on the contract. So he says he can't show you the contract. Some people are pointing out, well, it's still a he said, she said because he can't show the contract. Well, no, he can't because it's a legal issue.
Right.
That contract isn't supposed to be in his hands. If he releases that, Bloomberg's getting sued. Mm-hmm. Bloomberg's legal would never let him release that contract. He would lose his job, and they would get sued. But that's why he said the Bloomberg team looked over it. So it wasn't just him. Their legal team and other people looked at it. So it's not just him at Bloomberg that looked over it. It was other people, and they shared details. And the details essentially were the contract he saw seemed to be the initial offer. That was $3,000 to $4,000 per session, with at least 4 sessions, maybe 5. So it was anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000 minimum, and that was the initial offer. Obviously, you could have negotiated, maybe got it a little higher, maybe got incentives thrown in. Who knows? That is at least what he presented. He also said that Helena Taylor, according to those two sources, responded to that initial offer, and instead of trying to, I guess what they would say, negotiate in good faith, she responded and said, I want a 6-figure salary. We don't know the exact numbers. They didn't give the exact numbers, but 6-figure salary, for those who don't know, it's anywhere from $100,000 to $999,000. somewhere in that range. It's a wide range. People just assume 100,000. That's not actually what was stated. It's a 6-figure salary, so it could be more than 100,000. It just won't. It's just not a million. She's not asking for a mil. So she responded saying, "I want a 6-figure salary plus royalties," and let's just say that obviously didn't go over well at Platinum, and they rejected that because I don't think even Jennifer Hale is getting paid 6-figure salaries for any of these voice acting jobs. That's insane when you're only it's not realistic. It's not realistic.
Yeah,
it's 20 hours of work. It's not realistic for you to make basically more than their CEO makes.
It's 20 hours of work based on Helena's own words of the sessions are 4 hours apiece.
Well, it also says it in the contract.
Right,
it says 4 hours.
Okay, yeah, I mean, but so it's 16 to 20 hours of work.
Anyways, so then there was a negotiating period after that. They obviously couldn't come to terms. And then, because when she responded with that, it was pretty clear they were so far apart, they were probably never going to see eye to eye. And then after those negotiations sort of fell apart, things went silent. And that's when Platinum said, all right, we're just going to go try out some more voice actors. And then they signed on Jennifer Hale. But then they decided, while Jennifer Hale was recording lines, they came back to Helena Taylor and was like, hey, we would like you to actually do a cameo. We still want you in the game for this specific thing that the character you've been voicing does. I know there's reports and rumors out there that maybe Bayonetta dies. It is what it is. That could explain the cameo. But that offer was for one session for $4,000, which is pretty much what they were originally offering for all the sessions, each one being around $4,000. They said, hey, look, we can't get this long-term agreement, but hey, let's do this one thing. Let's get your voice in here. $4,000, one recording session, 4 hours. And that's basically the one she talked about publicly, saying the final offer was $4,000 for the entire game, which left out the context that you were no longer voicing the entire game. Your role in that game was now one recording session, not the 4 or 5, because Jennifer Hale was doing that stuff. And she rejected that, of course. And that, I think, upset her because that might have been when she became aware that she got replaced. That's what I'm guessing, because she definitely felt, at least in the moment, like she was really emotionally attached to the character. And then that's why that offer probably felt really insulting, because it meant that she lost the role. And she wasn't going to be happy with that. But it also goes way against a lot of the things the way she presented it didn't seem that this was what was offered. And the moment this story broke, it was corroborated by 2 other independent outlets, Video Game Chronicle and Axios, Stefan Totillo and Andrew Robinson, I believe. They corroborated the story. All of this was retweeted by Jennifer Hale, by the way, suggesting that, yeah, this sounds right around what the contract should be and right around probably what I was being offered. So, she can't say that, but she can. It's like implicitly supporting it by retweeting it, kind of being like, hey, this is out there and I concur. I can't say anything, but I concur. Like, there's not a problem with this, basically. Jennifer Hale said, there's no problem with what was being offered. There's nothing wrong with this. And so it kind of turned this whole situation. And by the way, Jason Schreier did reach out before publication to Helena Taylor to ask her, or Helena, I don't know. I think I keep mispronouncing it because I think she's British and has a different pronunciation of her first name. But they reached out to her and asked her, if she had anything to say about this before publication. And she basically said it's all lies. They're just trying to sell games. And at this point, I want nothing to do with the character anymore. People leave me alone. I'm going to go back to the theater. Which revealed that obviously she's been doing local theater work, and that's probably what she really does for a living. After all, she did go to school for acting. She went. If you actually go back and look, she didn't go to school specifically for voice acting. It was
part of it.
It was acting overall, and voice acting just was part of that of that experience. So she's an actress, basically, and does local theater because that's clearly what she really is into, more so than voice acting. So that kind of made it feel like,
in a way, when it comes to acting, every person that I've met, voice actor, they've been actors also.
Yeah,
first.
Sure.
So it's kind of it makes sense because it just makes it easier to voice act when you're already an actor. You know how to.
Yeah. So my thing is, and I presented this obviously I'm leaning towards the fact that she at least bare minimum misrepresented the truth and didn't give full context, omitted some things that would have made it not favor her, which made me feel like this was more of an emotional thing she did rather than something that was factually bad pay, because she was acting as if she was offered such horrendous pay, a non-livable wage. Meanwhile, after these details came out, a whole bunch of other voice actors retweeted and said, these are amazing rates. This is great pay. This is not the kind of stuff we're worried about. This is well above what we're trying to fight the floor to come up. Like, you were acting like you were getting nothing, and here you're actually getting nearly $20K for 20 hours of work. That's $1,000 an hour. People are pretty pleased with that in the voice acting community. They all want to get that because that's literally 4 times the union rate.
Yeah.
And she's not a popular voice actor. She's not someone where people are knocking on her door to get her to do things. She doesn't have other gigs. So for her to get 4 times the union rate when this is the only gig you got in the voice acting world, then wow. Like, this doesn't, and the problem we have, of course, is the context we have at the moment does not favor what she said, and she's running away from it. She basically accused, by calling them liars, accused Platinum and Nintendo of fabricating documents to send to Bloomberg, which, by the way, if that's the case, she would have the original documents, and that would be a massive lawsuit, and Nintendo and Platinum would get sued to hell and back over slander, and would end up paying her tens of millions of dollars if they falsified documents like this and leaked it to the public. That's the one thing people, a billion-dollar corporate. Yes, I understand all of you think Bloomberg's protecting Nintendo, and I get all of that. You can have that narrative, but it doesn't change the fact that if she thinks these documents are a lie, that she would actually have the evidence to then make a lawsuit out of it.
Yeah.
But she's not. Mm-hmm. Instead, she's running away. Everyone to leave me alone. I'm going back to the theater. She basically sounds like she regrets ever saying anything. Which means she probably doesn't have the evidence to back up the things she said. And it probably is because it was an emotional response where she omitted key details and misremembered how the negotiations really went. And honestly, if the 6-figure thing part is true, I don't think she realized that was asking way more than what that profession pays. Like, significantly outside the realm of possibility. You were asking for salaries that are at the level of CEOs when you're only doing 20 hours of work. It was just not. If that part's true, that is bad faith and overplaying your cards massively. Now, that's all my take. I've talked a lot about this. I have a comment I want to read later that goes on the other side, completely siding with her and some of the logic I'm seeing thrown out there from a lot of people. And I want to make sure that we discuss both sides. So I'm going to give that comment a little bit of light of day. I won't name who it is. I don't want you guys finding them and attacking and all that. I don't want you guys attacking Helena Taylor either.
Right.
I don't think that solves anything. 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
If this was all wrong and a mislead, going after her is not going to fix anything. She's already getting the negative attention. The Bayonetta sales are already exploding. So the most important thing is Bayonetta's getting more attention than ever and probably going to be the best-selling game in the franchise. And Helena Taylor, obviously she already knew by posting the video she was nuking any future voice acting career. But it also, the only thing that I'm concerned out of this isn't for Helena Taylor. I don't think that is something to concern about. This became so public that it makes you wonder about the actual fight for voice actors for better pay and how this impacts perception. Because voice actors want the public behind them when they're fighting for better rates. And this is something that might impact negotiations and fights in the future over better rates for voice actors. That being said, I've been waiting since this story broke to hear thoughts from Mike. We talked a little bit behind the scenes, those initial reactions before things settled down. So, Mike, you actually know voice actors. You probably dare say call some of them your friends. What are your thoughts on this situation? Because you are more connected to this realm than I am. I am a complete outsider.
It's a sad situation. I mean, I didn't cover it just because of that. I didn't want to have that type of not that I don't support voice actors and and their ability to earn more money. But I just didn't want to bring attention to this person in particular. You know what I mean? Because I feel like she was doing a disservice to all of the other voice actors, including the one that I know. I mean, the ones that I know are amazing, humble people who love their work. They work for Nintendo, and they do amazing work, and they get paid. I mean, for Nintendo, I'm pretty sure they get paid, and they deserve higher pay. And for people who don't understand how voice actors get paid, they don't work for any company. They work for themselves.
Yep.
They are contractors, just like us YouTubers up here. They're individual contractors who sign a contract to do a certain job for a certain amount, and then once that is done, then that's it. It's done. They're no longer attached to that job or that company anymore, and they don't have any. They have to take care of their own insurance, health insurance, and everything else. So that's how a voice actor works. The more jobs they get, the better it is. So that's why in the beginning I wasn't understanding why this person wanted a 6-figure income when that's not how voice acting works or the career works. She was getting $15,000 for a job. That's pretty good. Imagine being in a position of being a good voice actress or good voice actor with work and then getting $15,000 a pop. And let's say this month I have 5 different jobs to do in 5 different companies, $15,000 each. put that together, it's a sad situation. I really do. I know that the reason why voice actors are they feel underpaid and they are underpaid is because how the gaming industry, or maybe how voice acting has gone according to Hollywood, so it's very difficult to compare Hollywood voice actor to a game voice actor. As you see here, she was supposed to do 4 sessions of 4 hours each for 20 hours, right? 20 hours total for this game. I don't know how much. I've never played Bayonetta. I don't know how much dialect there is in this game. But 4 hours is a long time to record. I mean, I believe that in 20 hours, any voice actor can record a whole movie as well. So there's that comparison. And if Chris Pratt getting paid for voicing Mario is completely different from Charles Martinet getting paid to voice Mario.
Oh,
it's just completely different.
I mean, and what people have to understand about Hollywood is when they do hire big name Hollywood actors to come in and do voice work, part of that is because they're gonna sell tickets. It's marketing too. It's not just paying for the voice, it's the marketing. Your name attached to that movie, they believe is gonna help sell tickets.
And I'm not sure if this is a popular thing, but I believe that the more you work and the more you prove your what you're worth, the more you get paid.
Sure.
But if you don't put the honest work into it, and there's nothing you can say to back up what your worth is, how are you claiming to get paid a certain amount? Just because you've been with the character 2-3 games, and there's one thing that I've learned in voice acting is that no one character, no one voice actor owns their character. And I want to exclude Charles Martinet because he owns Mario when it comes to games. And people out there, they don't have to
be
worry
clear,
about
Charles Martinet's actually spoke publicly on this.
He is Mario. He's
Charles Martinet, even though you're giving him all that credit, Charles Martinet has said publicly he does not own Mario and he does not own the voice for Mario. He said it several times.
That's him being completely humble, but he's Nintendo's baby.
I think it's also a real. It might be a realization he can't do it forever.
Charles Martinet is under a lifetime NDA, and he has his his way of speaking, his way of acting, his way of just being how he is.
Mike,
that is
I got a question for you.
What was that?
Do you think Charles Martinet owns the record for the most amount of game credits for a voice actor?
I don't know. I don't have that history, but he does.
I looked at his IMDb and I'm just like, holy crap.
Interesting.
This is like every Mario game that's ever existed in the history of even these spin-offs, even Hotel Mario. What this is, he's in
yeah.
everything.
But this is the thing. Charles Martinet, he started as the voice of Mario in Nintendo New York before he even did a Mario.
Yep.
Started in New York, voicing that little kiosk where Mario was live and he was behind the scenes, just doing little, like just answering questions, And then from there, they hired him to be Mario, which is something, It's to me, Charles Martinet, it's like the voice actor to look up to. The way he goes about himself, he's so humble. He's so good to people. He has this good message he's always bringing, and the way he carries himself. That's just somebody who you want to love and want to look up to, and I don't know what this person was. I don't know what their end goal was or what they thought they were gonna get from this, but that wasn't the way to go. That was not the way to go. I mean, right now you had Jen. She was she's doing the same work. She has all this work behind her experience, plus she has a whole lot of work ahead of her, and still she's advocating for better pay and doing everything the right way. You know what I mean? Like showing her worth. Look, this is how much I've done. This is how much I'm worth, and I'm pretty sure she's getting paid. The further she gets, the more she gets paid.
Sure, yeah, she's one of the top talents in the industry.
Yeah, but then you have somebody who voices a character, and that's the only role they've had, and that's their only experience trying to represent everybody else, represent all these voice actors. I don't see it that way. That's why I'm like, I don't.
It's almost like she wouldn't even have the knowledge to know what's normal in the voice acting world.
Yeah, it's hard to digest when you say, I can't believe this person is representing Kenny James, voice of Bowser. I can't think this person is representing Samantha Kelly. These beautiful people who work so hard and they have a track record. And I just don't see them representing. I don't see her representing these people, these real voice actors, the one who've dedicated so many years to their characters. Not only that, they've actually expanded and gone like Kenny James. He does a lot of anime. He's doing a lot of really good high-end anime work, So not just gaming, but also in anime, and they have a whole bunch of history and a lot of experience. So that's what rubbed me the wrong way, and I just didn't want to cover her on the channel just because I don't consider this person, although she did Bayonetta, and Bayonetta is the character, not her. The character is a known character. People love that character, whatever. But this is just proof out there, guys, that no one voice actor owns the character. They can be replaced and imitated like this.
Look at all the Looney Tunes. Mel Blanc voiced for example, how many Looney Tune characters. Once he's dead, it's if he could never be replaced, then you don't have Bugs anymore. You don't have Tweety. You don't have all these Looney Tune characters too. So it's they don't own the
Well, I mean, a good example of this, like the voice of Mario, or not Mario, of Mickey Mouse has changed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a totally different person who's doing Mickey Mouse than used to do it, and they sound exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
The person who created the original voice, the first voice actor, doesn't own the rights to that voice. Disney does.
Yeah.
Like that's how it goes, and it felt like she felt offended that Jennifer Hale was, quote unquote, mimicking her voice, but that's her job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what voice actors do, and it's like you wouldn't know because you haven't done a bunch of roles to understand how this works, and you clearly didn't know that everyone can be replaced.
Yeah,
but they still value you enough to give you what other voice actors are saying now was a damn good deal, and you seemingly thought that you should just, for 20 hours of work, not have to work the next couple of years. And it felt weird.
A voice actor can the best way a voice actor can become irreplaceable is by doing three things: respecting the character, respecting the workers, the company who gave them the part, and respecting the fans. I think this person just violated all three of those things. First thing, Bayonetta's mine. No, Bayonetta belongs to the fan. Okay. Second, boycott. Oh, boycott. What do you mean boycott? Boycott the developers who spent years making this game. Is that what you're saying? The company who really maybe struggle to bring about a game of this caliber, because Bayonetta 3 looks amazing, looks really good, and I've heard that it looks better than the previous two, you know, and then 3 kind of in a way disrespecting the field of voice acting by trying to represent something that they're really not, you
Absolutely.
know. So that's the best way for you to lose any type of character. When I'm pretty sure that when this is her there, but I'm pretty sure that the developer, the what is it, the development company,
Platinum Games,
but they saw a glimpse of who she really was and says, do we really want to be playing working with this person and having her represent this character, you know?
and despite that, they still gave her a final offer for a cameo.
And with that, yeah, and still kept it civil enough to even not publicly say, "Oh, this person is not going to be the voice anymore," because and even further offering her a role in the game so that she is not left out, just honoring her previous work. You see, that is something to look up to. That's something to admire from a company that they do something like that. But when she did what she did, and then she threw Jen I forgot her name again,
Jennifer Hale.
Jen Hale, yeah. I call it, I don't know.
That's right. She probably calls Jen for short. Who knows?
Yeah. So trying to put Jen Hale in the middle of all of this when Jen Hale job and she's doing a fantastic job. I'm pretty sure that when Jen Hale was like, "Wait, what is the lady?" I'm like, I want to see the reaction of Jen Hale looking at this post for the very first time, then hearing her mention her name when she has like, "Wait, I have nothing to do with you. I have no beef with you. Why are you mentioning my job? Who are you to be mentioning my name in your video?" You know,
I wouldn't be surprised Jennifer Hale didn't even know who she was at the time.
Yeah, I agree that. I mean, I believe that.
Yeah.
But yeah, people like this, they don't represent voice actors. Voice actors are people who actually respect the fans. They respect the character. You know, they somebody who says that they love the character and is attached to a character so much would not harm the character like this. You know, boycott the game. Yes, you're boycotting the character.
She even said boycott if there's a spinoff where Jennifer Hale's the voice. Boycott that too. And it's like, what?
Yeah, and that's how much she loves the character. Yeah, that's how much she loves the character. She wants to kill the character on the spot.
Yeah.
If the character is not mine, then I want this character to die on spot. That's how much I love this character.
Yeah.
That's how much I respect the fans who have followed this character for.
And then obviously to follow it up with the response to Jason Schreier's email where she said, "I want nothing to do with Bayonetta anymore." And it's like,
okay, all right. So
I don't think you were going to have any. To be honest, after what you did on Saturday, I'm pretty sure you were never going to have anything to do with Bayonetta, anyways. Let's just be clear here. Don't think you had to worry about that.
I really want to. I don't know, to open my heart and take off my hat to all those out there who have really taken all these characters that we truly love and holding these games, and they've represented these characters well. They've done right by us, the fans. They've done right by the companies who gave them who entrusted them with these characters, you know, and they've kept these characters alive for us. You know what I mean? So kudos to all these amazing voice actors out there who have done this amazing job, from Breath of the Wild characters, from Super Mario characters, from characters from all over the gaming world, not just Nintendo. These voice actors who have done such an amazing job at representing the character themselves, and also honoring the fans, and then honoring the company and the creators who bring these characters to life, for real. I know Nate and Eric feel the same way. We are grateful to them because this whole situation is sad, but it is really sad. But we just need to kind of take it, take it and use it as a moment to exalt all these other voice actors like Jen Hale who are doing such an amazing. I'm pretty. Guess what? From now on, Bayonetta is gonna sound better than ever. So I'm looking forward. You know what? Just because of this, I wasn't gonna buy Bayonetta 3, but I'm getting it now. I'm gonna buy it now.
And that's the way a lot of people feel, because they're just like, man, it almost feels like, bottom line, we should at least support Jennifer Hale. Nothing else. Well, Platinum Games, Kamiya said dumb things on Twitter. Didn't really get into that aspect. Kamiya says a lot of dumb things on Twitter. If you guys ever follow Hideki Kamiya on Twitter, I don't think he's understand what professionalism in social media means ever. But it's whatever. He gets away with it, I guess, because he's that important to Platinum Games. And apparently he hasn't said anything yet that's offended Nintendo to not want him involved with their company as well. Now, I want to point out the other side, because I know Eric and I talked about this a little bit earlier. And I mean, Eric just, like, I walked through the steps with Eric because he didn't experience this all.
No.
So we went, here's what initially happened. You watch it, and then you had your response.
Yeah, which was basically, if this is true, this needs to be pointed out. Obviously, it's something that's huge. It needs to be pointed out. That's saying it's true.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm not.
Well, the very first thing you told me is, well, I hear this. My first question is, I don't know enough.
Yeah, right. There's no context given in any of the videos.
You didn't context anything you said.
Right.
What's 4,000 for what?
Yeah.
What hours? What are we talking?
Right.
Like, she didn't give enough details.
Right.
And if she was already willing, quote unquote, as I say, break NDA, then you might as well just go all the way and give the details. But
right, exactly.
Maybe it's because the details might not have painted the best picture. That's why some people say, hey, some people just omit things. Is that a lie? I don't know, but it definitely could be a mislead of what the full story is, because they truly felt she should have been paid six figures. And so it doesn't matter, to her anyways, in her mindset. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, no, that's
it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I stepped Eric through all the stuff along the way, and obviously by the end, he kind of came to the same clue. I was like, okay, this is... Unless there's more evidence that comes out from Helena Taylor that can
unless there's that massive lawsuit that should be
massive lawsuit that should happen.
Dangling right there.
Yeah, it's dangling right there. If this is slander, even if it's just to Bloomberg for slander, if it's a false contract.
Yeah.
If it's a made-up contract, you can at least sue Bloomberg, who would probably then release it and get the other companies involved. And it would be a huge thing. She would get a lot of money if it was made up. So I don't think that's the case. And she's running away and wants it to go away. I want to present the other side, because it's hard for, and by the way, this is from a commenter on one of my videos. I do not want you guys to go find this person. I'm not going to say who the commenter is. I don't want you to go attack them. I'm reading this for context of trying to understand the other side. And I felt like after everything I've read on people still supporting the Helena Taylor side of the story, that I wanted to make sure that I found something that kind of combined everything together. And some of you guys might find some of these things to be pretty stupid, but that doesn't mean we attack people over it, okay? So I'm going to read the two comments they made. They're pretty lengthy. I'm going to read a comment, then I'm going to read my response, because context matters. So the second comment was a response to me. So the context really, really matters there, that you understand what they're responding to. Because, again, how many times I said context matters? So bear with me while I read through this. It's going to be a bit of a lengthy one here. Hopefully we can get this done in less than 10 minutes. Here we go. So... this is in response to a video, and you'll know what video it is right away, because it'll say you quoted the Bloomberg article. You guys know what video that was of mine. So it says, you quoted the Bloomberg article, which I was able to also find online, which says, according to documentation reviewed by Bloomberg, which doesn't cough up the documentation for the reader so they can properly make up their own mind. It's simple. Helena has already called this out as a lie, even if Platinum created some bogus documentation for Bloomberg to report on. If it's not, then there should be a real legitimate paper trail of dirty laundry available to air out about it, which would at least better pass the smell test than simply one dude who wrote on an article about it online, and a bunch more who are willing to take what he says, emphasizes the word he, at face value. Because source, trust me, bro. Now I'm going to continue. I just want to note, because I didn't bring this up in my response, source, trust me, bro, is exactly what Helena Taylor did. But that's besides the point. You realize Bloomberg is owned by one of the nastiest of the billionaire class, and who has a vested interest in keeping the man down by controlling info like a worker daring to speak up for herself against a juggernaut company who does whatever they want in lieu of respecting the fact that without these people being properly taken care of, you don't have a valuable IP, period. And a reminder, Platinum Games is not a juggernaut company. We already talked about their 10 million evaluation.
Yeah.
Or their 10 million capital. And by the way,
15.
people might think that I'm making up the 10 million. It's on their official website.
Yeah.
I got it off the Platinum Games website.
Yep.
Like this comes straight from the source. There is
In capital, 10 million in
They
capital.
have 10 million in capital. That is not a multi-billion-dollar mega corporation. There's a reason that they keep having other companies pay for games. They ain't got the money. All right, continuing. This is 100% the Gamergate of 2022 and probably beyond. Why? Because there's a gazillion gamer bros who are now frothing at the mouth to try and delegitimize Helena and her claims, like can be seen in this video. She does deserve a livable wage, irrespective of whether or not it was $4,000 or $15,000. And from
that makes a difference.
it does make a difference. And you're saying that neither are livable wages for 20 hours. Okay. Anyways, from a moral standpoint, we absolutely should boycott the game. I'm blocking all of these type of low effort video channels today who are willing to merely read out a dubious at best article with no linked sources. Bloomberg is the source. And then speculate and pontificate about whether asymmetric nonsense in other industries seems to validate your weak points, name recognition, etc. I didn't bring up name recognition as a thing in my video, but that's neither here nor there. You're simply providing cover for the Platinum Game executives making $100K a week from sales plus bonuses. And this is where I also mentioned before. So $100K a week is over $5 million a year for a company that only has $10 million in capital. They would be bankrupt. Their executives do not make $100K a week. That's just, I'm making $100K a year.
Yeah.
They're not making 100. Like literally, their own capital tells you they ain't got the money to pay their executives that kind of money.
And that would be just one executive.
And that's more than Furukawa makes, who runs Nintendo. I think they're confusing the way that like Activision Blizzard runs versus these Japanese companies that do not run the same way. But again, this comes down to it took me like literally one Google search to realize that it's impossible for their executives to get 100K a week. They wouldn't exist. So that's how little research some people are actually putting into this. So then my response, I said Bloomberg doesn't publish the documentation as it opens them up to actual lawsuits by Platinum and Nintendo for publishing documents that are protected under privacy law. Jason details this on Twitter when people asked why he didn't post the documents. It's not that black and white because you obtained information you are legally not even supposed to have seen. If Platinum or Nintendo wanted, they could post the information themselves. But they don't because it's deemed... hold on, I'm getting there. Yeah. Because it's unprofessional and can break privacy legal agreements.
I was going to say, it's still against the NDA for both. Because the NDA applies to both sides.
Yes, I know. Yep. So Jason noted none of this information...
Or the contract, I should say.
None of this information came from executives or top-level staff. Meaning, no, Kamiya wasn't involved, at least directly, nor was an executive trying to create a smear campaign. Rather, people that were not supposed to talk about the contract negotiations, who naturally didn't like the misinformation being presented, decided to come forward. He won't out his sources so they can keep their jobs. But yeah, he can't publish that or heads will roll and Bloomberg will be in a big lawsuit. Bloomberg is the source, by the way. There is nothing to link to. This is their own original investigative journalism. Also, the writer, Jason Schreier, has literal books and many works over the years blasting corporations for the treatment of video game-related employees and profiteering. This isn't just your run-of-the-mill corporate shill journalist. This is a man who has a track record of integrity in all of these matters and got blacklisted by a bunch of corporations because he dug up literal dirty laundry on their treatment of employees. He just is going to tell what he finds and leave it at that. Lastly, $1,000 per hour, or as originally thought, $250 per hour, is a livable wage in every country in the world. What she wanted instead, reportedly, is a year plus worth of salary for less than a week's worth of work. Even her original claim doesn't fit reality of what livable wage actually is. Yes, execs make a lot of money. They always have. Platinum's CEO, however, isn't raking in millions. The last report I could find online was right around $140K per year. Nintendo's CEO makes $2.4 million. That's actually a little over $4K a week. And yes, Furukawa makes significantly more than Platinum's CEO. You're confusing what execs actually make at some of these companies because others like Activision are making crap loads. It's fine if you disagree, but I base the things I say on what is known. You can call the video lazy, but your response lacks all the nuance of the experience and research I have put into this topic. It just blindly believes someone who has provided no proof and ignored all evidence to the contrary because you think all corporations are evil. And to be fair, I have blasted Nintendo for bad practices. I'm not a corporate friend. They won't even return my emails anymore. But I treat things as fair as possible. Helena approached this issue way different than all other voice actors who fight for better pay do. Why? For what purpose? Others got way more insulting offers and didn't actively wish to hurt others over it. Helena Taylor is probably a lovely person, a good friend, maybe even a great mother if she has kids. It appears her full-time work involves the theater, which is wonderful. I love theater work. My fans know how much I love theater work. I literally used to perform in musicals and theater myself. But 20 hours of work is 20 hours of work. Most people are going to find even her original claim to be well within reason. It's literally what Furukawa gets paid for a week of work, and he puts in more hours in that week. So then they responded, and they said there's little nuance to recognize when it's clear that one woman's opinion means nothing to the sensationalist on this platform. One false move or opinion, given that attracts even the slightest bit of negative attention in the gaming sphere, and you will get people like yourself and others who are way worse jumping down her throat for their own paychecks. I find this quite interesting because I think most people that watch my channel and see my coverage have known I've been pretty respectful of Helena Taylor and have never said one mean thing about her. In fact, some people think I should go at her harder. It's just not who I am.
Yeah, no.
She's now finding herself largely alone in facing the huge corporate gaming juggernaut, media, studios, execs, who always have the upper hand when controlling the narrative because she didn't play perfectly by the rules dictated implicitly by the fickle opinion men in gaming. All the gamer bros like yourself. First time I've been called a gamer bro, by the way. I've been covering video games for a long time. I don't think I've ever been called a gamer bro before.
What does that even mean?
Okay, you look up the Urban Dictionary definition of gamer bro.
Okay,
because it's not an actual term. I'm very curious. I've never been called a gamer bro, so maybe I am. Maybe I've been a gamer bro the whole time. I don't know.
When you spend more time gaming with your friends than with your own family. Sorry, Mom, I can't come for dinner right now. I'm with the gamer bros. That's still that.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they meant by that comment.
No.
Maybe the definition's changed. I don't know.
No.
Anyways, all the gamer bros like yourself, let's see, can parrot other gamer bros in a huge circle. So basically saying circle jerking.
Yeah.
Jason just happens to be another, because he's a guy, in a higher position of power, of influence, but he shills for the Bloomberg Corporation. He works for them. Owned by an exploitive billionaire at the end of the day, which has its own internal editorial rules for going after the working class in order to continue keeping us under their thumb. But I'm glad that you can rationalize away what you think should be a fair wage for what someone should earn per hour, and they bolded should. You don't know how voice acting can affect one's throat after whatever length of time doing it, thus making a 40-hour work week literally impossible to achieve and still produce a quality result.
And nobody ever said she was working
by the way,
40 hours a week.
I never said that she was working 40 hours, and I never said she was doing 20 hours in a week. I never even said any of that.
Not 40 hours. It was a 20-hour gig. So
I never actually said any of this, but it's just a bunch of assumptions. Anyways, literally impossible to achieve and still produce quality result. Or what sort of artistry goes into perfect inflections that people will appreciate for years to come if done right, which requires out-of-studio practice that's officially off the clock in many instances. You also don't take into consideration the ramifications of simply being a top-level voice actor. Helena Taylor's not a top-level voice actor, factually. Just factually speaking, she's not a top-level voice actor. She doesn't voice act. It was Bayonetta and nothing.
Can I say something quick to that point? When it comes to what he's saying about the stress that it puts in a voice and the time they spend practicing. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
about
sure.
that?
Sure. Inject, yeah.
Listen, the role of a voice actor, okay, could be compared, believe it or not, could be compared to the role of a plumber, to the role of somebody out there who is a contractor working for themselves. It's something they choose to do. It's something they might have passion for, and they're not looking for anybody to defend them in that role. They know what they're doing, and they're passionate about what they're doing. They're self-contractors. They don't work for anybody but themselves. They're pursuing their passion. So it's like us right now, you know, as YouTubers, we're working ourselves to becoming independently full-time, full paid YouTubers where we can depend only on this career that we're trying to build. This is our passion, this is our thing. You know, we're not going to be complaining saying, oh, the hours of editing, the research, hours of this, hours of that. It's our choice. It's our choice to go this route for this career. And saying, oh, the voice actors, their voices are the decrepit, and like seriously, like, and that's not a good excuse to try to
It's part of the
defend
profession.
the undefendable. You know, you have to look for something else. But don't fall back on hard work, because that's not an excuse. That's part of their pride. That's what they feel proud about. They feel proud that they put the work into it. They feel proud, like Kenny James. He always shares this story when he was recording for the first time the voice of Meowser, which, by the way, he came up with that voice originally all by himself. That by the end of that session, he had blood in his throat. Okay, and the way that he tells this story, it has so much heart and so much pride behind it, and he loves it so much just to share this little note of it. He would hate if somebody out there would say, "Oh yeah, he had blood in his throat. Poor Kenny." You know, like he's working.
He was
way
abused,
too hard.
right? Like he was abused or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, he shares his story because he's proud of it. He loves it, you know. And some people say, "Oh no, he lost his voice." He didn't lose his voice. He was, and the following day, he's a singer, so he was doing a play the next day with his full voice at full blast, you know. So the fact that this person comes and says, "Oh yeah, the actors their voices are decrepit and they put their voices on the line." No, they don't. They put their hearts on the line and they do their best work.
And I would say specific roles might be a bit more taxing on vocal cords, like some of the high pitched stuff you might hear in some cartoons, or
when they say,
like some
when
there
they
are
say
certain
pick a
roles
Pokemon,
that are more strenuous on vocal cords than others. Absolutely.
Look at Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Look at Dragon Ball.
but like a lot of times, again, they're not usually doing these recording sessions 4 or 5 days in a row. It's just not
Right.
the way it is. It's spread out over a couple weeks. Depending on how much lines they need to read and stuff.
Well, and it kind of also has to be, you know, it has to be spread out because they may make changes to the game where they need to come back and rewrite some scripts here.
At least based on what Helena Taylor said, that seems to be in consideration that you're being paid $250 an hour or $1,000 an hour. Seems to be considered that, you're not going to do all the sessions in a row and you need a little break in between. It seems to be kind of considered, and like that's why you went to become a voice actor, to get paid like that. So you don't need to do 40-hour work weeks and stuff like that. But
she's not speaking like somebody who's passionate about voice acting and bringing characters to life, because anybody who really is passionate about voice acting, like the current voice actors we have now in the world of Nintendo and other franchises, you know, they wouldn't talk that way. They would actually, you know, if they feel themselves like they're giving their all and then they end the session without, you know, they can barely speak, man, that's a proud day for them because they gave their all to that role, you know, and they walked out and they say, okay, I'm gonna take some time to recover, get my voice back, and get back right at it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Somebody who complains about, oh, we have to do so much and this is so exhausting. I'm like, no, it's not. It's because you're not meant or for that type of work.
Sure.
You know that saying that I think, I'm not sure who said it. I'm gonna credit Steve Jobs, but the day you find your passion, that's the day you stop working.
Yep.
You know, you will never work a day in your life when you're working on something you're passionate about, and you can't complain about something like that. We all want we want voice actors to get paid well because of how much work they put into it, because how proud they are of that work they put into it. You know, and this was not the way to try to get that or call the attention and try to become a martyr for the cause.
Yep. So continuing here, it says, you also don't take into consideration, this is where we left off, the ramifications of simply being a top-level voice actor, which is a public-facing role for the company. and as such, there are other things implicitly expected of them, such as making appearances at various conventions all over the world and participating in interviews, among other time and social syncs, I'm sure.
Yep, which you are
Aren't they
paid.
paid for the appearances? Like if they go to like New York Comic Con and they're doing a panel, is that paid?
Can I give you a little pointer there?
Yeah.
That's a contracted appearance.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with Nintendo. It has nothing to do with the developing company. That's on their own, and that's a contract they sign as an independent contractor to appear in a convention.
The people I've talked to that have done this stuff, they always tell me, yeah, it's usually a contracted paid gig for us to be there because we're driving up the value of whatever this
Exactly.
this thing is. So that's got nothing to do with that kind.
It's not. It has nothing to do with this current contract.
What I like about the end of this particular paragraph is where it says, among other things in social things, I'm sure, which means this person's just doesn't know anything.
Shit out of their ass.
They're just making everything up, and then accusing people like me of the same thing. It's weird. Anyways, let me get to and again, don't go after this person if you find the comments. Let's finish this off here because this seems to, as I said, it's like a nice summary of what I am hearing for people that are basically just being dismissive of anything that isn't what Helena Taylor said, who again, context-wise, never provided context or anything to back up her claims. Literally, it's just a believe me because I said so situation. Anyway, so when someone charges $1,000 per hour for work, there are reasons, and reasons are bolded. Okay? All of which the dude bro gamer sphere on YouTube is wholly uncurious to even consider, which I've considered all of this stuff and talked about it in my videos, but that's besides the point, because that takes actual critical thinking and compassion, which doesn't convert into clicks and views. Helena which by the way, when this news initially broke, there were many YouTubers that were in support of Helena on YouTube and getting tons of clicks and views over it. It works both ways. And to be clear, this person doesn't know how YouTube works. It goes both ways. Anyways, Helena is fully within her right to expect even the rumored $100,000 per year plus residuals. And by the way, it was a six-figure salary. We don't know if it was exactly $100,000, but anyways,
they are correct in the fact that she can expect it. That doesn't mean she'll get it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can expect whatever.
You can expect. I expect $1 million. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it.
I'm trying to lock in a long-term ad deal here with the chair company, and I can expect them to pay me $10,000 a month. I'm never going to get that offer, at least not anytime soon. Let me tell you.
She is very well within her rights to expect that.
Yep,
but
you can expect anything you want.
Yep.
Doesn't mean expectations are not
reality.
Are not like your value, and this is something to mention with contract work too. Your value to a company oftentimes is what they're willing to pay you. And you can negotiate, and if they're not willing to meet you, then you can self-value. Yeah, you can self-value yourself whatever you want. But I can tell you right now, if she went to any other voice acting gig and was quoting six figures, she would just be, nope, next. Like they wouldn't even try to negotiate. The fact that Platinum still tried to negotiate after she said that goes towards Platinum's respect for what the work she's done, and hoping that they could find some sort of compromise in there that clearly didn't happen. Anyways. So getting back to this, it says, which doesn't convert into clicks and views. Helena is fully within the right to expect the rumored $100,000 per year plus residuals. But most folks like yourself who are brainwashed to think all hourly wages must be low. I seriously don't know. They mentioned $1,000 per. I don't know how anyone thinks that's low.
Even $250 an hour is
guys,
low.
I lived supporting my family working at McDonald's for 3 years. I literally supported my entire family working off McDonald's. That's low pay.
And that was before they even increased it.
Yeah, that was before. I was making $7.35 an hour and supporting an entire family off that. That's low hourly rate. $1,000 an hour, nobody is going to tell you is low hourly rate. It's just not true.
A billionaire might, but
a billionaire, but they have completely different expectations.
They don't understand.
They're in a different realm,
right?
They're in a completely different realm. They're not someone who is telling sob stories about how they might have to go to the food pantry for food.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you are in the position that you're so poor you have to go to the food pantry for food, there's no shame in that.
No.
Why is that a shameful thing? Why? Should nurses have to do it? No, maybe not. But it was tough times in a pandemic, and things happen. There's no shame in taking advantage of the things that exist to help you out in tough situations. It's weird that she was even trying to make that like it's a shameful thing. Anyways, that's not part of this comment. Let me see here. It says,
let me do a quick shout out here to Jay. Is it Mikers or Makers? Says I work as an ER nurse, and not even the doctors get half of what Helena gets per hour. And to that, I say, you see, these are people who actually deserve that pay. Doctors, nurses, teachers, first responders. These are people who actually need to get paid more than they actually do because they save lives every day and they put themselves away every single day. So I just wanted to put out there.
Yep.
And then, man, thank you. I thank them for their service, just like I thank somebody out there who goes out and defends our country as well. All these people, policemen, nurses, first responders, all these people, they put their lives at risk for us to be who we are and live how we are. So salute to you guys.
So they end this by saying, so our brainwashers think all hourly wages must be low and all work must be accomplished every week to be valid. It's nothing I ever said.
And what does that even mean?
Are buying right into the expectations of the exec class, who will now buy their 5th and 6th mansions by the end of the year due to your, and she emphasizes your efforts causing the backlash against the boycott. And I did one response. I guess I'll give context. This person was going to say more, but YouTube basically grabbed their comments and deleted them because they were breaking terms of service. So throughout these comments, you notice there were some insults thrown in there towards me that actually is expressly against YouTube's terms of service. It's not just my rule not to insult others. It's in YouTube's terms of service that nobody reads. So I'm guessing that their comment was laden with stuff that their AI is like,
And
whoa, wait a second.
I've
Nope.
seen the back
Eject.
end. I've seen the back end. There was no comment.
Yeah.
So
And
And listen, Nate is very generous with his commenters on the channel, and he leaves a lot of comments up there just to let people express themselves.
Yep,
I'm not
including
generous.
this. Yeah, I'm very lenient. My audience is well aware. So I responded just for the context of this conversation. Helena hasn't done any voice acting in 8 years. Her only role was Bayonetta. That's it. And who said all 5 sessions mentioned were in a single week in the first place? Look, insult me all you want if that makes you feel better about yourself. I don't stoop to insults to talk about a very touchy topic. Helena Taylor made an accusation and didn't back up that accusation. She then insulted a fellow voice actor and then called for a boycott that hurts everyone who worked on the game, including other voice actors who worked on the game, and claimed if you don't boycott, you are hurting everyone. But what about those that worked on the game? Do they not matter? Does Jennifer Hale's own words not matter too? Or are we just picking and choosing who we believe? How about that Jason's reporting was backed up by Axios and backed up by Video Game Chronicle too? How about that Jennifer Hale has been retweeting all the reports on her contract as someone who knows what her own contract is with the same company? You are making a choice to believe a person who has provided nothing and then ignoring all of their evidence to the contrary and everyone else who spoke up because you want to. Whether you realize it or not, you went into this situation, and so have many others, with a preconceived agenda and used words of someone who never backed up her claims to support that agenda. I'm not saying that your agenda is incorrect. Corporations suck arse. They do everything they can in the name of the bottom line. I'm not even arguing against that point. In fact, I've made videos pointing out the many faults of so many companies, Nintendo included, which is why Nintendo will not work with me. But I don't use my preconceived notions to formulate my thoughts on every situation, because every situation is different. Individuals are different. How contract negotiations work person to person is just different. And if you have never worked in the corporate world, you wouldn't really understand it. Nowhere did I ever say she didn't need time off with her voice, or did I say she would do all the lines in a week. I merely said it's factually 20 hours of paid work. The reason a voice actor gets $200+ of work per hour or more, 1,000 as you note, is because that work recovery time and all the stuff that comes with the profession is all considered in that pay. Then again, she has nothing to recover to because she doesn't have other voice acting roles. But that's not really the point of this conversation. And then apparently they tried to say something else and obviously didn't go through. YouTube's just like, nope, you're just not following our rules, and so they kicked it out. But the whole reason I bring up this conversation point is because I see so many of these points echoed. Like, Jason didn't provide the documents. And Helena Taylor didn't provide anything either.
Right.
You realize
neither one of them can.
You realize neither side provided those documents. One side has several people backing up the claim, plus, like it sounded more like a lot of it's a you must believe the woman, all men are evil kind of situation is what it sort of sounded like. And I'm sitting there like, but Jennifer Hale's a woman. Are we ignoring everything she said too? Are we ignoring her retweets, her posts that she's liking on this situation because she's being very careful to dance around the NDA? Oh, I'm sure Camilla has messaged Jennifer Hale and wants her to go off, and she's like, nope. I'm not breaking my contract because right. Camille wants me to.
But then again, it would. Platinum would be the one that would have to go after her when they probably wouldn't go after her.
They both would be in trouble because it'd be him encouraging her to break an NDA. It would. Anyway, Jennifer Hale's a professional. She's not stupid.
Right.
But she clearly disagrees with all of this, and she's a woman, and we're just not supposed to believe her. Yeah. Is she suddenly a corporate shill? And the ironic part, of course, is that all these comments happen, talking about Bloomberg and their billionaire owner who, has a bad reputation at times. It's interesting as you're sitting there commenting on YouTube, owned by Google, owned by Alphabet, which is one of the largest companies in the entire world. You're enjoying content and enjoying commenting on platforms that support billionaires. Mm-hmm. That's what you're factually doing by even being here and making these comments, being on Twitter and making these comments. Twitter's about to be owned by Elon Musk, one of the richest people in the world. You are commenting and using platforms owned by billionaires. And you're probably taking advantage of things that billionaires are involved with every single day, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Walmart, whether it's any major retailer. So to act as if a journalist writing an article because the owner of the parent company is a billionaire is a problem, then if you really feel this way about corporations, then you need to stop using all these billionaire-owned things. And unfortunately, you're still doing that and supporting it. It's very strange to me reading all of this, and I'm having all this stuff thrown at me, and I've seen other people get it thrown at them as well, that are things we never said in the first place. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We never pretended that there wasn't rest time or downtime needed for the work. We never said that we're comparing this to a standard 40-hour work week. No, we're not. We're not. The one thing I did do is I mentioned Furukawa gets about $4,300 a week on average, and he obviously is putting more than 20 hours a week, and that wasn't to downplay her. That was to point out that her compensation was more than fair. That was the entire point. She is being compensated at the level of a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. And apparently that's not okay because she should be getting six figures for 20 hours of work when the actual people making the game aren't making that kind of money, and they're putting work in every day for years. It made no sense. It made literally no sense. She asked for a salary that was probably on par or higher than the CEO of Platinum Games that is $1 million company, not $1 billion company. It didn't make any sense. There was nothing that made sense in these counter arguments that are thrown out there. And I think a lot of it is because there are people out there that, unfortunately, this gets a little political, but they believe everything a woman says, no matter what it is, and all men are evil, because there's been a lot of evil things that have happened, and a lot of it can be traced back to men. It doesn't matter, and like every situation needs to be looked at on an individual basis. And that's why I've said forever, context matters. I never approach this as Helena's a liar. It just so happens the context is out there, and the context right now doesn't favor her. And she has the ability, if everyone's lying and she keeps saying everyone's a liar, she can blast a hole in all of this.
Right. And this, I wanted to point out the one last thing from me is I want to point out that this is still fluid. This is absolutely still fluid. If she comes out with
she could
evidence,
destroy all of this. She could provide actual
comes out with evidence that this
she already
is
broke NDA.
Wrong, then absolutely. We just follow the evidence right now, and the evidence is right now on the side of Platinum.
Basically, she has said something, and nothing has come forward from independent sources or even herself to corroborate what she said. Meanwhile, the other side has multiple news outlets, multiple journalists, which obviously some people say, oh, it's journalists. Okay, well, Jennifer Hale isn't, and she's also in support. So like, and other voice actors are reading this, and they're going, oh, wait a second. Now they're all pulling back their support for the Helena Taylor stuff. It's hit this point where there is multiple, at least 4 people, including Jennifer Hale, a voice actor, who have spoken out and basically been like, this is not correct. And she has zero things corroborating anything she has said. So what are you supposed to believe? The things that have the most corroboration around it, or one person who keeps calling them all liars, but then never provides the proof of the lies? You can't get mad at people for, I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. It's just wrong to get mad at somebody for, quote unquote, blindly believing what someone says, while you are blindly believing what someone else says who hasn't provided any context or any backup for what they say, while the other side has backup and has context for what they said. It's very strange, and unfortunately, this is the world we live in, where no matter what, and by the way, this part's not even about Helena Taylor. She's not out here calling for people to behave this way. This is just, it's a frustrating thing to see when people just act in a way that I feel, and by the way, I want to make this clear. If there's people watching right now and you fully are on the Helena Taylor side, that is fine. I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'm not here to tell you how to hold your opinions. I'm not here to tell you that Bloomberg and Jason Schreier are infallible. I'm not here to act as if these reports are 100% true. But at least they have context in those reports that she didn't provide. And if she wants to blast holes in that context, and apparently if they're completely lying, sounds like she should be able to do it quite easily, but she doesn't want to, and she's running away, and she wants to get away from the attention, which suggests she doesn't actually have the proof in the first place. You can argue that you're just making an assumption, and so are all the people assuming that the reports are incorrect. It's also an assumption on their part as well. And as for corporate greed, hey, we're all working for something. I'm a YouTuber, so thank you, billion-dollar company, for allowing me to make money doing what I love to do. I'm sure Jason Schreier appreciates it. Big outlets still want to hire him and give him a decent pay for the work he does. It's just Platinum Games ain't it. They're not that big company. They're smaller than the company you're commenting on. It's so weird to me. But this is the arguments I've seen consistently, and it's just, you guys, this is a very touchy topic, and there could be lies on both sides. And as I've said before, the truth is probably in the middle somewhere in all of this. The problem is that the middle seems to start slanting in a different direction when there's a whole bunch of information from one side and just one piece of information from the other. And all of it is stuff that we can't see. The big thing to remember in all of this is this has nothing to do with us. The only reason us gamers, and we're even talking about this, is because of the boycott. If they had just made this about nothing but wages and left it at that, I don't think this story blows up. But because she went out and publicly asked people, basically told them how to spend their money, and told them if you don't spend it a certain way, you're a bad person, that's what got the public involved in the first place. And that's where we are today. I think this will be the last time we talk about this. If something else comes out, obviously that's something then we'll discuss, but if she's being honest and says I'm done with this and going back to theater, then I don't think there'll be anything, at least it's not from her side. And anything else that comes out on the other side, it's just going to be further damning evidence. At this point, I think a majority of people have kind of seen, at least for themselves, the evidence, and they will critically think for themselves. And my critical thought is, at the moment, I think she misled people. That's my thoughts. It could change if she can present, or someone from her side, or someone independent of her can present evidence to the contrary. But at the moment, there is zero evidence. And I have zero reason to question Jason Schreier's integrity, or Stefan Totillo's integrity, or Andrew Robinson, who, by the way, used to be a game developer at Platonic Games. Hello, ukulele. To question his integrity either. And honestly, I had no reason to question Helena Taylor's integrity when she started this. Outside of the fact that she was actively promoting hurting others because she didn't get what she wanted. That part always rubbed me wrong. And the disparaging words towards Jennifer Hale over the Bayonetta character rubbed me wrong as well. But I tried to set that aside and focus on the money, and the fact is, it doesn't look good at the moment. I think that's it. That's what we got for the time. Unless you guys have anything else you want to chime in with before we cut out here?
I think what she tried to do, and it didn't work out for her, is and you can take the fact that she tried to claim ownership to the character, was she tried to get a contract that makes her basically the one and only voice of the character, and she tried to become an employee rather than a contractor. She wanted to sign a contract that would pay her from here to the foreseeable future, not just for the work that she had. And I think that's part of the story that we're probably not hearing, because for her to ask for a 6-digit number when it comes to a salary, that's the key word there, salary, not pay for the job, a salary. She tried to make herself, for example, let's say, there's this character, I'm the very first voice actor for it, and then I do a few games. Okay, I want a contract that I will be the only voice, and then I want you guys to pay me from here till I die for the character.
Absolutely.
And I think, she didn't get it. She felt offended that she didn't get it. She was not the voice of it wasn't set in stone, and they proved it. They got a new voice actors, and that really hit her hard that she didn't land that salary. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel like that's how we got here. She tried
Sure.
to become a full-time employee, and take ownership of a character that didn't really belong to her. And no character belongs to anybody. Every character belongs to the fans and fans alone. That's it.
I'm not sure I agree with that point, but that's okay. I mean, they exist like
Right. They exist probably because of they keep existing because of the fans, but
sure. If fans don't support the characters,
that's
go
what I'm
away.
saying.
Right.
A character is a gift from a
I would say a
developer to
character's
fans.
relevance is because of the fans.
right.
I can say that.
A character. Listen to this. I'm talking artistically speaking. I'm not talking. I'm not saying this
Legally
as
speaking.
as in, like,
This isn't legal.
physically or I'm talking as an artist. If I make a movie, I am the developer. I am the filmmaker. I make this as a gift to the fans, to people, for people. Look, I'm gifting you this character. Make it yours. Fall in love with it. Follow it. Grow with it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say.
I think some of that also presumes the motivations behind the creation of the characters too.
So that's what I'm saying is that
I think there's a lot of characters in movies
like
that
Mario
get made just
belongs
to
to
make
the
money.
fans. That's what I mean. Like Mario was a gift from Miyamoto to the fans. That's probably how he sees it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't presume what the creators
Yeah.
of characters are thinking. Obviously,
Well,
at the time.
I'm a writer. I'm an illustrator. I'm a graphic designer.
Yep.
So I'm talking myself as an artist.
Yeah, your experience.
Yeah.
How I feel
No,
that
for sure.
that I create something. I create it for the fans. Like it's a love letter to them.
I think that becomes true at some points. I also think sometimes things are made because they're trying to make money. Like we want to make this to make money. Like I can look at like the Mario sports games as an example. Like I don't know if they're love letters.
But you're talking about specific games though.
Sure.
That the characters
Sure.
have already been created and
Like
they've been
when
already.
Jumpman
But
became
what I
Mario
mean
back in
is
the day, I don't know that they were thinking, yeah, we're doing this for the people. I think they we're doing this because we can.
I'm talking about the essence of, I'm talking about the essence of a character. For example, look at the statue of David. Look at look at look at art as that's a gift from the artist to people, to humanity. You know what I mean? And that's how I'm talking about games. And I think that sometimes we have to look at it that way. We just can't really look at it everything is not green. Sometimes in order to be a gamer, we just have to find the beauty. Not the green.
Sure.
So
We can have a difference of opinion. It's okay.
yeah.
It's
No. You can't. I have to convince
Some
you.
of those
Yeah,
giant
no.
works of art were created because they were commissioned and paid to do it. They weren't necessarily making it for the people. They were making it because they got paid.
But they go into the field because they love it, though. They find they're passionate about it. Why would you want to go to a field you're not passionate about?
Well,
Money.
I'll give it money.
Money.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you have a talent and someone's willing to pay you for that talent, sometimes you just do it for the money.
Look at us. We're pursuing a career in YouTube because we're passionate
Sure.
about this field and we love it, and we can make money out of it, which is
Would you say every decision that you make is about the fan, or is some of it about the money?
Right now, believe it or not, as long as I'm enjoying and I'm actually focusing on my following, and I see my following is the best feedback I can get that I'm doing a good job. So in a way, yes, I am doing it for them, but I'm also doing it for myself. The fact that I can actually make this a living, to me, it's a bonus and it's something great.
Absolutely.
But this is the way I think. I put literally 110% into my work, and then the feedback that I get just makes it better. Just makes it all worthwhile, because at the end, without my following, I would have really nothing. I'm actually securing at my level. I only have 13,000 subscribers. Okay, I barely make 2,000 views or 1,000, but I'm actually securing a
You're gonna bring it up, huh?
partnership. I'm not gonna say everything, but I'm securing a partnership, like a long-term partnership with the company. That I'm like, what the heck is going on? But I
don't know what the heck's going on. You're securing things I don't have. It's awesome.
The email said, because they see my love and my passion in the videos, that they believe. And to me, that meant a lot, because that's what I'm trying to convey. Yeah. I try to put my emotion, I try to put my heart into everything I do.
Definitely hear you on that.
I do it for the. I with all my heart, I really do it for my followers. I really do, and I can say more than the money, because money doesn't bring happiness.
I think I'm a bit of a cynic when it comes to this.
Bills, and that's a good thing. If we don't have money, we die, and that's very, very, very important. It is. But it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't. It's not my happiness.
Yeah, I think this is one of those situations for me personally that I look at this as a bit of a cynic and realist at times. There's what we do content for. I never planned for me to make money on YouTube. By the way, that was never even in my plans. When I split off from Zelda and former band today, I thought I was going to do traditional website stuff, and then I didn't already know if I make money doing that. I had other jobs, and this became a job. But there are YouTubers out there way bigger that I am very aware of don't even like making content, but they do it because it's easy money for them.
Wow.
So, and I think that's something to consider, that they might be really good at it. Doesn't mean they enjoy it. It's just it takes up they have found a way to work very little to make a bunch of money, so then they can just go do whatever the hell they feel like doing, rather than doing something they're necessarily passionate about. Now, sometimes you could do that. You can work a job you're not really that fond of to support something that you're passionate about. Like, people have hobbies, and you guys just enjoy playing video games, and that's something you're really passionate about. So, like, you work a job to afford the money to afford your hobby, and that's totally fine. But there are people in every profession, I think, that just do it because I'm good at it and they're going to pay me a lot of money. It's not necessarily something I care about. There's one, and I can say this as someone, I went to college for several different degrees, and I was pretty much good at everything I tried. None of it really was none of it excited me. It wasn't what I wanted to do. And it took me a long time to realize that YouTube is what I wanted to do. Like, it took me years to figure out, this thing I'm doing, this is what I love. This is what I want to do. And it's one of those things that I'm well aware that there are people out there that's not the case. They just, and sometimes they feel like they get stuck because they'll get stuck making stuff all the time they don't really want to make just because it makes them a bunch of money, and they get stuck in this loop of, I got to keep doing this. I got brand deals. I got this. I got that. I got to make all this money. But then, that's where you find out, like you said, money doesn't buy you happiness. So you can be as rich as hell. This is one of those things that I always remind people. I think one of the happiest people that's maybe ever been on this planet, at least in my lifetime, was probably Mother Teresa. And we're not going to get super religious about this, but she seemed extremely happy and had nothing. So it ain't that we're aware of. Like, money does not get you the happiness. It can get you the temporary, the fun. It's go to have fun. Go on your vacations. Go jet skiing. Go do whatever. But in the end, the true happiness is going to come from within, and self-love and appreciating the little things in life rather than worrying about how fat's your bank account. Let me tell you, if I worried about how fat my bank account was doing this YouTube thing, my gosh, I would be the most depressed person on the planet. on the planet. You can ask Eric, man. I'd be the most depressed person on the planet if I thought money was what makes me happy. I wouldn't be doing this if that was the case. I can make a hell of a lot more. I can make more money at the moment for what the channel makes now being a cashier at a gas station. Just throwing it out there that it's not. And Yulia doesn't want me doing that either because she remembers me working all these other jobs and how miserable I was every day. Yeah. And she doesn't get that from me now. She gets the joyous Nate doing what he loves. And I wish that everyone could find that passion and hopefully be successful enough to keep doing it. Anyways, that's going to do it for the Nintendo Prime podcast. I'm really glad that... by the way, guys, kick me if I talk about Bayonetta 3 the rest of this week. If someone might bring it up in the chat, just kick me. Yeah. Kick me. I don't want to talk about it anymore. There's nothing... I don't think there's anything else to talk about unless more happens.
We need to set up a catapult in the corner here.
Talk about more?
Voice actors getting paid better in the right... No. Right. Oh, damn it.
No, that's not it. Yeah, but that's not what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
I think we should talk more about Nintendo Switch Pro.
Yep.
To be honest... Yeah. Are we overdue for a Pro episode? When's the last time we've had one? We might have to do it when Eric's not here.
Yeah, right.
Eric, sorry, you don't get to talk about Pro.
Yeah, no, I know. Shit. Hey, when that happens.
Let's find like the one other YouTuber out there that keeps talking about it, and we'll have him come on.
So I just think we should stop calling it Nintendo Switch Pro and just call it next gen. That's it.
I don't know what it's going to be. I've been calling it like I'll use Pro in the title sometimes because the search algorithm keeps grabbing that stuff.
Yeah, that's the term. Yeah.
Yeah, it grabs Switch 2 or Switch Pro. Those are like the two big terms. But really, I've been calling it the next Nintendo platform. Don't know. It might not be next gen. It might be mid. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. But the next platform. There'll be a next something someday.
We're due, dude. We're due.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. If you guys want to go check out Mike Odyssey, go down into the description. He should be linked down there. Also, be sure to check out the sponsor of the podcast, Herman Miller Phantom Gaming Chair. Teamed up with Logitech. They're really, really nice chairs. I can tell you right now. I'm literally as comfortable as I might have ever been after sitting for, I don't know how long it's been. It's probably a couple. I guess it hasn't been that long of a podcast. We had a little failure to launch issue, but now I know what the failure to launch issue is, and I just got to be more on top of it. All right, guys. So go check out Mike Odyssey, and he has his news videos he does Monday through Friday, except Friday is sort of a standalone video. It's not always news. It could be a discussion topic. It could be, whatever. Sometimes he does other videos on weekends as well. You just got to kind of tune in to find out. He does have the Nin Topic podcast as well. I have no idea when his next episode is coming. I don't know if you even know. Maybe you do know. I have no clue.
I do, but I'm not.
You're not ready to tease yet. Not ready to talk about it yet. That's fine. That's fine. That's a first. Mike not telling us?
Yeah, right.
Wait, what? He only revealed a massive Nintendo Con for next year way early before it probably should even be talked about.
Right.
Oh, just because I secured the deal.
There's an excitement level with that. There's one of those, I secured the deal, I secured the rights. That's an exciting thing, obviously.
Yeah, but when it comes to the date, the place...
Yeah, everything that's going to be. Look, I know this and this will probably be there, but Nate will be there.
Eric will be there.
What's sort of funny? It's going to come around and be like, Mike, remember how I told you I make more as a cashier than as a YouTuber?
Yeah,
I don't even know if I can get the plane ticket to show up. I'm so sorry, but and you're gonna be like, I built you a booth. What are you doing to me?
Right.
No, I'll figure out a way. As long as you give me a 4-month warning so I can bank up for it. We'll be all right then. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Go check out Mike Odyssey. As a Nin Topic podcast is absolutely amazing. For those who don't know, his season 1 of the Nin Topic podcast has all been about voice actors. Very big topic we just talked about today. Yeah. So go check it out. He has talked to in the past. Let's see. The last one I think was the voice of Noah from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That one ended up doing really, really well. It might be one of his biggest videos of all time. Because I don't know that anyone in the U.S. has had any public publishing with that particular voice actor. So that was really awesome to see. He's also done stuff with the entire voice acting cast of Mario characters, Peach and Bowser and Mario, obviously, and all that crew. And gosh, there was one other one, wasn't there?
Yeah, that that one actually beat Charles Martinet.
The Charles Martinet one, yes, that one.
Yeah,
too.
We got Harry McIntyre. We have a panel for the voice of Mario cast. We got Brian Hall, which is the voice of Dracula from Hotel Transylvania. We got Lara Faye Smith, the voice of Rosalina. We got a one-on-one with with Samantha Kelly. A one-on-one with Kenny James. The guy's hilarious. You guys have to go see him.
He's funny.
He talks about the Mario movie. In one of them, he also talks about his role as a voice actor too, and what he feels. By the way, he talks about what he feels about him not getting the role in the Mario movie too. I think it's an interesting thing.
That's very yeah. Nobody really talks about that, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I need to clip it and
everyone's always asking Charles, and Charles is like, "I'm good." Like, yeah. What do you expect? What do you expect him to say? He's technically in the movie too, so what do you expect him to say?
The guy's getting a buckload of money.
Like he's on payroll. He's good.
Yeah,
he's good. Dude, he's like, hey, they don't want me to voice this. It's cool. Like, whatever. I'm not gonna sit there and like get mad about it. They're not replacing me. So
you see, everything we said about voice actors just completely exclude Charles Martinet because that guy's in.
He's in like his own category. Yeah. He really is. He's a fun person.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's yeah. So yeah, Didn't Top a Podcast, definitely worth a listen if you guys haven't checked it out. Obviously, I appreciate it if you guys want to subscribe and all that for our podcast over here. Nintendo Prime Podcast happens around 8 p.m. Central every single Wednesday. We try to make it. Obviously, the only time it really ever doesn't happen is if I can't make it happen because it happens at my studio in my house on my channel. So it's kind of, if I can't make it happen, it probably won't. There might be a day when I can get Eric to run it. Eric actually knows pretty well how most of the stuff works, but that's not something right now. Eric's just might not even be here for like the next month and a half, so that's not a concern there. But I want to thank you guys for all of that support. Some of the super chats we got, new members, new subscribers that probably ended up subscribing. You guys are amazing and awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you really enjoyed the Nintendo Prime Podcast. This was episode 72. You can listen to it everywhere podcasts are heard. You can watch it on this episode. Just so you guys know. We were dual streaming on both YouTube channels, and we might be doing that moving forward, but the on-demand is always going to only be over on the Nintendo Prime Podcast channel. Just to throw that out there. You want to catch this after the fact, that's where you go. So make sure you subscribe over there for all of that on-demand content. Plus, we do live streams over there on other stuff as well. I know we've been streaming more on this channel lately. That's just been a circumstantial thing on certain topics, like the Bayonetta thing being so big, I wanted to make sure that we had the largest reach possible. And some of my videos were sort of underperforming, so it was kind of like there's no reason for me not to stream, because the whole reason to not stream here was because it affected videos, but if the videos weren't doing good anyways, then who cares? But most of my streams do factually happen over on the podcast channel. It just so happens the last couple of weeks have been a little wonky. Anyways, guys, catch you guys later. It's been real. Have a good night.
Hey.
Later.
Do 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 do.